everyone, meet Nate. He is from Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'm from Wisconsin.
What's your favorite cheese, do you think?
Mine's probably Munster.
Yes. We just met, maybe 72 hours ago, maybe?
It's been a few days, yeah.
And we've been talking a lot about life and death. Speaking of, did you have an accident a couple years ago that you told me about earlier?
Yeah, I had a car accident about 2 years ago. Me and my friends were gonna go light fireworks off in our local quarry. It was my friend's idea, and we got into his friend's truck, or his mutual friend's truck, and we started driving out to this quarry. But this guy's been drinking, he's been smoking weed, and he's been doing drugs. He was on cocaine, and he was like all over the road and all that, and it just gave me the instinct to put on my seatbelt. And Absolutely. What do you know, 5 minutes later down the road, we are going buck 20 down this dead-end road towards the quarry, right? We miss our turn. He tries to turn straight into that turn, and we slide and go over the railroad tracks. We catch edge, and we just start rolling. We rolled 3 times before we got stopped by the light pole. And the girl that was sitting next to my best friend in the back passenger seat, she flew out from the truck, probably 140 feet up. We went on to Google Maps, and we measured it from where the truck sat to where she landed. We assumed that's how far it was.
So after that initial shock of everything, how are you feeling at this moment? Are you worried about yourself or more of your friends?
Well, since this happened 2 years ago, not a lot of worries happen anymore. I mean, besides the anxiety from, or the anxiety or the PTSD from it. I get anxiety from being in cars. I can't go around a turn too fast. I can't go over a hill too fast. Somebody hits the brakes too hard, I get freaked out. You know, I get scared in cars now. I used to want to be a Formula Drift driver, but now I can't do it because it scares the shit out of me. Anxiety, tore my life apart.
So, we're at Pine Knot Job Corps Civilian Conservation Center. And what trade are you taking, if I can ask?
I'm in auto. If I can't be a race car driver, I might as well
work on them, yeah. Hey, that's a good philosophy, man.
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to at least be in the automotive industry. My dad, he works at O'Reilly's. He was a firefighter in the Navy and then went to work at O'Reilly's, the automotive retail store. Ever since I was young, I've always looked up to him and seen him working on cars. He would tell me stories about when he had an early Monte Carlo that he upgraded and made it do wheelies and burnouts and drifts and stuff like that. And he motivated me. I've always wanted to be a mechanic. I've always wanted to work on cars. I always wanted to replicate that car and surprise him with it. That's why I'm here. I'm working towards that.
So you're here because you want to walk in his footsteps, right?
Yeah. Also, and I'm 16 now, so
yeah.
You know, I've always pursued what I've wanted.
So, I know that you talked about your home life just briefly, but what part of your childhood led you to Job Corps?
So, how I came here, it started back in my freshman year of high school. My brother and I would always get into troubles, doing drugs and drinking and getting into trouble all the time.
Most people think that Job Corps is for teenagers, court-ordered to be here. There are some teenagers that are sentenced here by judges, but most of us want to come here to focus on ourselves. It's been around for, 60-plus years now, maybe?
It's been President Teddy Roosevelt's the one who made this place.
So about 1960-ish?
Yeah. Anyway, when my brother turned 16, my school suggested going to Job Corps.
Okay.
Because neither one of us were doing great in school. We'd fail our classes because all we wanted to do was get out of school just to go do more drugs, further deeper into trouble.
Yeah.
And my brother was suggested to go to Job Corps. So August that year, he went to Job Corps. And after hearing all the information from him, from the process of him getting into Job Corps, I heard you could do masonry, you could do construction, you could do carpentry, you could do welding. You heard about auto, and I was like, well, that's kind of what I want to do anyway. So why don't I do the same thing? Get out of this and fix my life up and do what I want to do.
Right.
Get out of high school that I didn't want to do.
Right.
And finish with what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
After hearing all this, I had to wait until March to apply.
Okay.
So I was anticipating this for a while. I was anticipating this ever since like February 2 years ago. So I was anticipating this since I was like 14 years old. And so when I finally turned 16, applied, and they got me out here in April of last year.
And in case you guys don't know, Job Corps is not a place that you can go just to skip out on getting your GED or your high school diploma, because guess what? We also have academic classes here. So if you don't want to take high school anymore and you don't like the thought of getting your GED or your high school diploma, don't even bother coming here. Because if you don't have it, they're going to make you get it. So don't think that it's just a free ride out of getting, you know, your high school, because trust me, it's not. And actually, we have the same hour day as school, do we not? We have 8-hour days too, right?
Well, we get to classes about 8 o'clock and get off at around 4 o'clock, so yeah.
Okay.
About 8 hours.
And what the probably don't know is students can also live off-center. Now, that all depends on if you do live close enough to the center, that is, to travel back and forth. But him and I both live on center because, well, he lives in...
I live 3 states away. I mean, I can't go home every day. His family is up in Wisconsin still. Yeah, central Wisconsin.
And
live in Moseley, Wisconsin.
My goodness.
It's a small town.
My family is in Jamestown, Tennessee, so we're a little bit farther from each other than what we are now. And also, guys, Job Corps is an amazing way to make friends.
A lot of times we have, if you can't find anybody that has something to relate to you with, I mean, we all live here.
Absolutely.
That's something to relate about.
You actually have a podcast about Job Corps life. So is that specifically for this Job Corps, or does it encompass every Job Corps?
My podcast, I mean, I only have an introduction episode still, but
okay.
We're gonna talk about like the life of a Job Corps student. Talk about the drama and the daily life of a Job Corps student.
Dude,
So
and
motherfuckers are crazy.
I've been eating meals here, and I enjoy them, but what do you think about them?
I've had good meals, I've had really bad meals. If I were to answer completely honest, I'd say it's mid.
Okay.
It's very mid. You'll get meals like that where it's pretty tasty, but then the next day you'll get some mediocre mac and cheese with some undercooked chicken. You know, so I mean, there's been times where I've had barely cooked scrambled eggs, and I've had my chicken is always it's always undercooked.
If you could say one nice thing about or to the CAF staff, what would that be?
The CAF staff, they might come off a bit disrespectful at the start, but as you get to know them, I mean, I was in KP like a month ago. It means kitchen prep. Like, I was in KP and I was having like real nice conversations. These guys, these cafeteria staff are just like any other. If you have a good relationship with your grandma, it's kind of like that. Like, it's
that's so sweet.
Yeah, they're sweet little old ladies.
Hey, and I also have a joke for you.
What's up?
Why did God create drummers? Because let's face it, some people just can't freaking sing.
I've tried to make music before. I have a BandLab account, and I tried to like throw together a beat. Like, I'm working on like a trap type beat right now, and my singing is just like not right. It does not fit my music well, and I try to get my voice perfect. It just never works. So I just make the beats, and I have other people sing them for me.
See, and well, luckily for you, the Lord never said, make a good sounding noise to my ear. No. He said, make a joyful noise unto me.
Imagine a church choir of all, like, terrible singers.
That, y'all, I
can make some pretty fucked up jokes, though. Make some pretty fucked up jokes.
Y'all,
for sure.
I have really enjoyed this interview with my new friend Nate. We call him Barber here, not because he cuts hair, but because that's just his last name. I know it's kind of weird, but get over it.
Barber Squeaks.
Oh yeah, and tell me about the nickname Squeaks. Quick, because it's interesting to me.
When I got here.
Yep, no one cares. Continue.
When I got here, our rec director, Mr. Burke, he was smoking a cigarette outside, and I walked up to him, and he was like, "You know what? You look like Squeaks from basketball," and it just stuck. It just stuck, and ever since then, my name is Squeaks.
Oh wow. That's actually a pretty cool story. We're gonna have to get me a nickname soon. Just don't call me late for supper, and I think we'll be okay. We do have to get off here because it's running past time. But I do appreciate you coming on the show. Would you mind being a guest some other time as well?
Yeah.
Awesome. And speaking of talking, our school is actually starting up a podcast. He also has had about student life. Called.
We can link it too, right?
We should be able to.
Yeah, we can
get our technical people to do that for us because we're dumb when it comes to technology. But anyway, we can get our technical people to do it.
If we can't figure this out, you could find my podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can find it on pretty much anywhere that a podcast can be played. And it's called Pine Knot Road, spelled R-D.
Pine Knot, P-I-N-E. KNOT Road RD with your host Nate Barber.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I'm the host, co-host Isaiah Marshall.
Okay.
He's another one of our students here. He's got a nice deep voice. I think you'd like it. Put you to sleep if you tried.
Love that.
Our podcast here for our school, it's going to be about wrestling and stuff.
Oh, cool.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So if y'all like wrestling, we can also link that in the description below as well. This is going to go on YouTube. Oh my gosh. Speaking of, guys, I've got a new Instagram account, a new Facebook account, and a new YouTube account as well. All are Ben_Brannon Music. Again, Ben_Brannon Music. I had to disable a couple of my accounts the other day due to this scammy stuff. So if you guys get a friend request from me that says Ben_Brannon Music, that's me. Do not freak out. No one has hacked my account. I will send y'all a friend request when I get time. I know that I have a lot of you already on my personal Facebook page, but I definitely will get you guys to the right pages. And do you have any other any other socials other than?
With my podcast, it's really only just the Pine Knot Road. That's all it really is. But if you want to individually contact me, I got my Instagram at Nathan Barber Jr. And you can get my Facebook at Nathan Barber Jr. as well.
And y'all, I'm non-denominational. He's Catholic, and think one of us is wrong. So anyway, I'm going to get off here and probably go and get me a drink because after this podcast, I am very, very parched. So I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.